Romantic films just wouldn't be the same without those picture-perfect, over-the-top marriage proposals. Over the years, writers, actors, and directors have created one beautiful proposal after another. While these polished, teary-eyed movie proposals might not be all that realistic when it comes down to it, they're sure to tug on your heartstrings. The Notebook. If you're of a certain age, you've almost definitely seen the film adaptation of Nicholas Sparks' The Notebook anywhere between 1 and 100 times. Noah and Allie, played by Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams, fall desperately in love, but her parents don't approve of the match. When they reunite many years later, Allie has to decide whether she's going to marry her wealthy southern beau or stay with Noah.
It wasn't over. It still isn't over.
The scene where Noah finally pleads for Allie to stay with him forever is one of the most heart-wrenching of the whole movie, and there are plenty to choose from.
So what?
So it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be really hard. And we're gonna have to work at this every day, but I wanna do that because I want you.
Stepmom. Plain and simple, the Julia Roberts-Susan Sarandon film Stepmom is just one of those movies that makes everyone sob.
You have made my life so wonderful.
The engagement scene, when Luke proposes in bed to Isabel with a spool of thread, is one of the more emotional movie proposals. The new marriage carries extra weight once Sarandon's character reveals she is dying of cancer, leaving Isabel to step in and help raise her children. Love Actually. Regardless of whether you love it or hate it, Love Actually has morphed into a Christmas classic.
I thought it would be something worse.
Worse than the total agony of being in love.
There are great moments in each of many storylines woven together throughout the movie, but one of the best is the love story between Englishman Jamie and his Portuguese housekeeper Aurelia. They don't speak the same language, but fall for each other regardless. Jamie walks out on his family's Christmas celebration to fly to Portugal to tell Aurelia he loves her, and after he shows up and leads a parade through town to her restaurant, it's his proposal that tugs the heartstrings the most.
Yes. This being my answer.
The Wedding Singer. In what must be one of the most unrealistic marriage proposals of all time, Adam Sandler's character Robbie proposes to Drew Barrymore's character Julia with a song he wrote for her while singing over the PA system on an airplane. At the same time, she's engaged to someone else.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Mrs. Julia Golding.
But come on, how much of a chance did her would-be husband really stand after this performance? Leap Year. There are 2 proposals in Leap Year, but only one deserves a spot on this list. As likable as Adam Scott is as Ben Wyatt on Parks and Recreation, he's just not who you root for in this silly rom-com. Instead, you're hoping that Anna, played by Amy Adams, won't make it to Dublin in time to propose to Scott's character. Spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, you get the ending you were actually hoping for, when Anna breaks off the engagement and travels back to Ireland to tell bar owner Declan, played by Matthew Good, that she loves him. After he walks away without responding, he later finds her on the edge of a cliff and drops to one knee. Pride and Prejudice. Though there's quite a bit of debate over which on-screen remake of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice is the best, there's little doubt that the story is one of the most romantic in either literature or film. A major highlight in the 2005 version, starring Keira Knightley and Matthew Macfadyen, is Mr. Darcy's ethereal early morning proposal to Elizabeth Bennet. And according to Knightley, it wasn't too difficult of a challenge to pull off the romantic scenes with Macfadyen.
He's a big bloke and he's really
manly.
vulnerable, really manly, and it's just desperately romantic. So yeah, he is. He's completely irresistible.
When Harry Met Sally. Of Rob Reiner's many hits, When Harry Met Sally is one of the greatest. The proposal scene, when Billy Crystal's character tracks down Meg Ryan's character to tell her he can't live without her, is definitely one of the film's most touching moments.
You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you!
Originally, however, that proposal wasn't even supposed to be in the movie. In an interview with AV Club, Reiner said that earlier versions of the script had the 2 characters parting ways at the end. Crystal's character is partially based on Reiner, and he couldn't see himself ending up with anyone anytime soon. During filming, however, Reiner met his future wife, and in turn, changed the ending of the film. Good thing he did. He's just not that into you. It may be surprising to hear that a movie called He's Just Not That Into You may actually contain one of the sweetest, simplest proposals captured on film. Beth, played by Jennifer Aniston, breaks up with Neil, played by Ben Affleck, after realizing that he's never going to want to get married. After Beth's dad has a heart attack and Neil shows up to help the family, she realizes that he's her partner, whether they're married or not. As she's helping him unpack, Beth plans to throw out his ratty old cargo pants, but he tells her to check the pockets first. She finds a ring box in one of the pockets and turns around to see Neil on one knee.
Will you marry me?
While You Were Sleeping. Possibly one of the most underrated seasonal movies out there, While You Were Sleeping takes place at Christmas, but that's not really what it's about. Still, it gives us a good excuse to rewatch this charming and slightly strange love story every December. Ultimately, everyone's glad that Sandra Bullock's character Lucy ends up with Jack, played by Bill Pullman, instead of his formerly comatose brother. The sweet, simple proposal scene at the end is one of the highlights of the whole movie. Jack tries to board the train with a ring instead of a token, giving Lucy the love of her life and the family she craves, and leaving audiences in tears. Runaway Bride. An underrated Gary Marshall classic, Runaway Bride has one of the best on-screen proposals, pairing up Pretty Woman duo Julia Roberts and Richard Gere as Maggie and Ike. Even if you haven't seen it, you probably already know how this is going to end. Maggie runs from yet another wedding after falling for Ike. She shows up at his apartment, gives him her running shoes, and tells him that while things will surely be difficult, she'd regret it forever if she didn't ask him to be with her. Honestly, does it get much better than Roberts and Gere together?
Now that's romantic.
Thanks for watching. Click the list icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out this other cool stuff we know you'll love too.